obviously the big conversation with Declan is, and we're being realistic, he is probably going to leave this summer for big money. He's got a year left in his contract, but West Ham have that option to extend it for another year. So this is probably the last time that they can move him for a big amount of money. And we've seen David Moyes talking in a press conference saying it will be a British record fee. I think everyone accepts that it's going to be up around that sort of 80 plus kind of amount. Bayo, where do you see him going?
I ain't gonna lie, I'll take him at Liverpool. I would.
I'm sure you would. I said, where do you think he's going?
I would take. I know. Listen, I think. Look, he's a London boy. I think the London clubs. Listen, I had tipped Arsenal. It'd be Chelsea. But to be fair, I'm actually curious because it's similar to what you kind of went through. You know, in the sense and I want to get your mindset on this. Yeah. So you know, he'd be at England. His best friend's Mount. And you know you want to be able to play in those tournaments and play for the big prizes. I'm not saying West Ham ain't, if you know what I mean. What is he thinking?
Yeah, I get asked all the time for the last year, 18 months, because it's a very similar situation to me. I was a bit younger than Dec. Do you know what it is? The time, you know, it's a finite time you get as a footballer, and time's ticking. And every time you go away with England and you speak to the Man United boys, or it was the Man United boys or the Arsenal boys when I was going, and they're competing in the Champions League, winning trophies, and you're kicking your heels. And it gets to the point, it's hard for fans to understand because, you know, they're just loyal. You get one team and you get a team for life. So Dec will be feeling that. He'll be feeling, oh, I want to win things. I want to test myself against the best. I want to be playing against Real Madrid, Barcelona's, Bayern Munich's. I want to see if I can produce it. And it gets to a point where it's not he outgrows the club because no one's ever bigger than the club. But in that time period, West Ham, it don't look like they have the finances to match his ambition. So he's going to have to leave. Doesn't mean, and people start talking about loyalty and things like that, but Dec's got one career and he wants to win trophies, you know. And what he's done here has been fabulous at the club. I think he's already a giant at West Ham. He's been brilliant the last 6-7 years.
We've had some tweets in. Of course, you can get involved using the hashtag EKO. So Scrappy tweet says, let's talk about Declan Rice to Arsenal. Is he worth the 134 million that's reported to be his price tag? Ben Jacobs says, West Ham pretty resigned to losing Declan Rice this summer. Rice said at the World Cup he was envious of England teammates playing Champions League, like you were saying, Joel. Several Premier League clubs, including Arsenal and Chelsea, will try to sign him. Morgan says, if Caicedo's worth 100 mil, how much is Declan Rice worth? And then Gunnar Talk. I can't understand people saying 80 million is too expensive for Declan Rice. He's obviously worth that in this market. Young but experienced, imposing physical presence, superb ball carrier, defensively solid, a leader and great attitude. A Rolls Royce for whoever lands him. Glowing words there. Fair play, Gunnar Talk. It's like he's trying to tap him up.
He must be his agent that said the last one. Jeez.
A Rolls Royce.
Damn. No, look, to be fair, you know what? And we spoke about it. Today's current market is the market. Yeah. So if it's 80, 100, it's today's market. And we discussed about it. He's a modern day midfielder. And of course, there was conversations. Does what boxes do he ticks? I do think he ticks most boxes in today's current age. I mean, sorry, in today's current market. So whatever they value, if somebody's going to pay it, that's their value. That's their market price.
How much do you think he's got left to learn? I know goals is something he wants to add to his game, but he's very close to complete now.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to score goals. I think what Dec, in particular, the last 6 months, I think he's got it in his head. I've spoken to him about it, he wants to score goals, but when he goes and connects, wherever he goes, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Real Madrid, wherever he goes, he'll play a role within the team. And his responsibility will be to snuff out attacks, to start attacks, you know, and he'll get even better within a unit where he can just do. It can score goals. I don't think he necessarily needs to.
Let me ask you, so then, does a modern day midfielder have to? So I know he doesn't need to, but does a modern day footballer now have to tick all boxes, defensive, creative, and score goals, or not?
No, I think a modern day midfielder, the boxes he has to tick, he has to be high level, sufficient, competent technically with the ball, because nobody lumps the ball, nobody misses out the midfield anymore. So every midfielder, I think
Wickham days.
Sorry, I was going to say the good old days.
I knew you was coming. I knew you was.
I've played with midfielders, and they're not good technically, and wasn't interested in showing for the ball. Like back in the day, they just wanted to win the second balls, get it, give it. and then just back out the play. You can't do that now. Everyone has to play part of the build-up. So he has to be that, and he has got that. And then also what he's got, which is his absolute star quality, is he's got a great defensive instincts. The turnovers are so important. So he ticks all of the boxes he needs to tick. You know, and he's what the next level for Dec now will be connecting into a team that can go and challenge. And I don't think that'll be a problem with him because you've seen how important he is for England when he steps his game up when he goes with better players.